Good morning, go live. Good morning. Are we going live yet? Bonjour. Is it working? Good morning. Are we live? Is it working? Happy bank holiday. Happy VD Day. Victory in Europe Day, 75 years, golly. Good morning, Michelle. Nice to see you. Okay, so the volume's working. I had a little blip just now because I looked at the battery and I thought it's got 2 bars out of 3. And I thought, well, if we're going to go for an hour, will that be enough? So I'm going to keep my eye on that. And perhaps, these are new ones, just in case. If we need them, I might just go, right, cut, let you catch up. I'll change the batteries on my microphone. But waste not, want not, do you know what I mean? I've only used a third. Anyway, whatever. Come on in. Good morning. Bonjour. Comment rein. Hola. Nice to have your company. Lovely to have your company. It's a funny old day, isn't it? All the days roll into one. And then suddenly it's a bank holiday and you think, bank holidays, they're usually Mondays. Why is it a Friday then? That's unusual. Then you start finding out that they've moved it. Okay, understandable. That's fine. Good morning, come on in. Doesn't matter, does it really? We're all at home anyway, for the best part. I hope we are. How are we coping? All right. How's it going? Everybody happy? 6 weeks. This is the 6th week, Friday, the 8th of May. We've been in the SHAC together every day at 10 o'clock for 6 weeks now. A marathon. We've done loads, haven't we? This week's been good. I've enjoyed this colouring immensely. I was really excited about this morning because I want to share some really smashing stuff with you. Some little ideas and tips and tricks and little colouring things that will help you. Maybe not. Come on in. Good morning. Lovely to have your company. And our good friend Steve Ellen is in the room with you today. So if you have any questions, he's kindly taken an hour out of his day off to help his mate Barb and all her mates. So good morning, Steve. I'm sure you're there. And if you have any questions, just direct them to Steve because I can't see the screen anyway. And he will direct you and help you. And then afterwards, I'll be there too. But just come on in. Good morning, Roz. Good morning, everybody. What's the time? 2 minutes to 10. We officially start at 10 o'clock, so we've got time for a little bit of tea. I do like a cup of tea. What brand do you drink? We used to be PG Tips drinkers, always. And then we started on Yorkshire Tips and I haven't looked at Yorkshire tea and we haven't looked back really. It's just lovely, isn't it, Yorkshire tea? Just normal. I'm not keen on Earl Grey. Don't like Earl Grey. Which is a shame, really, given my name. But I'm not a fan of Earl Grey. But I do like Yorkshire tea. What about you? Where are you this morning? In the same place you were yesterday, no doubt. We've got friends from all over the world. And what's lovely is they're from all over Europe as well. And today is a day to celebrate for everybody, everybody. You know what? It was really interesting when I was thinking about VE Day because they moved, you know, made a point of us celebrating VE Day today. And I thought, so the end of the war was the 8th of May, 75 years ago. 75 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Right, so, and I started thinking, that wasn't that long ago, really. It wasn't 400 years ago, or, you know, it wasn't one of those wars back in the day. 75 years. A lot of you good people watching were alive during that time, you know. And then it occurred to me that I was born only 14 years after the war ended. Only 14 years after the war ended. And I don't think I'm old. So that means that it wasn't that long ago that we had the last World War. It's quite astounding when you stop and think. Yeah? Isn't it? So VE Day, welcome. And here we are in another global crisis, all safe at home. Well, we are, while there's absolute chaos and carnage outside our doors, which is, it's a very, very strange thing that's going on here. Yeah, time for reflection, eh? But today, it's 10:01, so welcome to the SHAC. Come on in, grab a seat, grab a cup of tea. Lovely to have your company. Keep smiling, keep smiling. It is not the event, but how you respond to it that will ultimately affect you. And that is the truth. And therefore, how we're responding to this is every day at 10 o'clock we get together, we doodle, we colour in, we get creative, we get out of our heads and we get with our hands. And it works, doesn't it? It gives us a routine, it gives us somewhere to go, it gives me a reason to put my face on, put my nice top on, it gives you a reason to get up and get, you know, just get in front of a screen and get your pencils. And, you know, it's interesting. This routine is becoming so important, and the longer this goes on, the more important this is becoming. And so if you just do me a favor, like, follow, share, I don't know which order it goes in, but do me a favor and just click the share button, and then other people will see this, especially like now, it's bank holiday. Normally everybody, May bank holiday, they're all out, Brighton Beach, parks in London, everybody's out, especially today's going to be a glorious day. And all the kids, you know, all the kids, they can't go out, they must be going crazy, they're not at school, they're starting to feel isolated, they don't understand it. I mean, I'm 61 and I don't understand it, so what chance has a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old got? Yeah? So, you know, get them colouring in. Get them colouring in. I've seen some lovely stuff actually with the doodles where some of you have got grandchildren and young children, and you've involved them too. Get them in here. You know, give them a reason, give them something to get their teeth into, give them something to distract them. Creativity is a wonderful thing. And I'm really chuffed with what I've come up with for you today. So are you ready? Come on in, grab a chair. Good morning. It's lovely because you're all getting to know each other too. You know, every day when we meet, it's becoming a real little gathering of friends, isn't it? Like-minded friends. So that's not a bad thing either, is it? So let's have a look, because yesterday we started this on Tuesday, didn't we, with our postcards. So if you're wondering, somebody was asking yesterday, where did we get this picture from? We've been talking about these postcards since the start, haven't we? These are postcards that we designed. Our darling friend Mel designed and Lisa compiled. Just beautiful. And they're really, really artist quality postcards. And I think you realised as we were going through this particular picture, I think you figured out that I can't wait to do the cockerel and the hen with you. I think that one's going to be superb. But I think you're realising that these are artist quality, and the reason that they're open like this is for you to add your colour and your impression. And so we took our really open trees. Do you remember they were just like open gaps, and we turned them into fabulous silver birches. See, it was just an open gap, wasn't it? Just to recap, if you're new here today. Yeah, so the postcards, you can get them from Clarity Stamp. You get them from our company. We got loads of them, and they're a great price, and it means that we're all singing off the same hymn sheet. Now, what I was going to show you was as well, yesterday we learned how to do the leaves, didn't we? Which was a bit more of a challenge. I know it was. But hopefully one of the guys, Jim or Steve, somebody will have provided us with a digital download of those instructions from the colouring book. I did jog their memory again this morning, so hopefully that will be sorted out by this afternoon. And so today, right, I thought we were going to do the background. Are you cool with that? Should we go for the background? Everybody happy? Everybody got their pencils? So we're working, just to recap, we're either using our pergoliners, aren't we? These ones. and we're using the B pencils, the blending pencils, as opposed to the watercolour pencils. We could use them down the road, but for now we're using the buffer blending, right, those ones. And then we're also using, oh, let me just get my Faber-Castells out, the Rolls Royce. So we sell 60. You can use any colouring pencils you've got. If you haven't got polychromos and you haven't got pergoliners, get what you've got out. It's okay. These are professional artist pencils. They're superb, and you can see which ones I've used. Look, all the grey box. Look, it's all empty. It's all about the shading today. Right, so that's what we're using, and this is where we're going. There you go. So I hope you like that. I was well chuffed with this, and so what I want to show you today, I thought about it and I thought, well, at the risk of ruining it, I've got to try it. I want to see how it works if this is a night sky. Yeah. So I took one for the team today, and I did it really dark, and I have to say, right, I got to be honest. About an hour and a half in, I thought, oh, I've really, like, wasn't looking the way I had it. This is what I pictured in my mind, and where it was going was like, oh, this is a lot of hours that I'm just about to, and then I remembered it's not over until it's over. And halfway through a project is like judging a cake that hasn't been put in the oven yet. You can't judge it until it comes out, until it's finished, until it's cooled off, can you? And it's the same with this. And so I wanted to show you today how we get this effect. I hope you like it. Should we go up close? Let's go up close and have a look. Let it focus. And you'll see we've got a nice moon in there. We've got a really dark night sky. Doesn't that really makes the images, doesn't it? The nuthatch and the silver birch. It really makes it jump. And the moon, yeah. So and I want to show you how I got those lovely little bright stars in there as well. So I thought we could have a look at that today as well. So I hope you like that. I was well chuffed with it. And I could go and go and go and keep adding, but there comes a point where I have to get on with other things. But so I want to show you. I haven't had time to go through to completion on this one, so I thought we can sort of jump backwards and forwards. But I want to show you how I did this, okay? Because I think you'll enjoy it. So I've got all my pencils. Look, I've got my pencils. I've got pergoliners. I've got polychromos. I've got it all going on here. All my tools. And the colour, you know what I always do? I write it on the back. And I'm glad I do, because I would be looking at these two colours now and I'd be going, well, which one did I use? I don't know. That was 24 hours ago. I have no chance. And looking at the pergoliners, you've got black there. You've got dark blue. Yeah, you might have to blend, but they've got some good colours as well. In fact, what have I got there? Yeah, there's some pretty good colours in pergoliners as well. But you haven't got that night sky blue in the pergoliners, so you'd have to blend it. And I have a solution for the blending, so you could take the darkest blue you've got and the black. It's all about light layers, that's what I will tell you. Right, are you ready to start? And I'll show you a couple of tricks. So what about if we start up here, just so that you see how it works? And like I say, I use the indigo one. Dark blue you want. Dark blue or a lighter blue with a black over the top. And what we're going to do, look, you can see, there's my practice sheet. Let me just get all those pens out. Let me just make a little, I know, I get them all out, and let me put them over, how about I put them over here, and then I can see what I'm using. Good idea, Gray. Right, and what I want to do, right, are you ready? Come on, it's 10 past, we've got to get a wriggle on. We're not going to finish the whole sky, but I can certainly show you a few tricks, okay? So the first thing I want to tell you is that it's all about a really light layers. Light layers. To build up a dark sky, you have to build it up in layers, one layer after the other. So if I, for example, I'm going to get, if I go in with a sharp pencil like this, it will automatically force me to go dark. See, I can't not go dark. So I either use the side of my pencil like that, or I create a chisel. So I'm going to use, just because I don't want to waste my pencil, I'm going to use the side of my pencil like this, and I'm just going to, I don't want to waste my good pencil. So I'm just going to go really lightly like that. Okay. Just add a real light layer like so. Okay. And straight away they're in the zone. Everyone's gone quiet. See? Make the artwork come to you. Let's go in this area now. Make the artwork come to you. Because if you're using the side of the pencil, you haven't got as much control, have you, as if you're using the nib. So you can turn it round. Everybody happy? You all right, guys? Funny old time, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let's just do a little area like this. Can you see that all right? Maybe we want to get in a bit tighter, do we? See, that's a tree there, so I just haven't coloured it in yet. Do you do the background before you do the front? I don't know, I didn't read the rule book. It worked for me doing the front and then doing the background. And when you watch watercolour artists, they work in that sequence too, but what do I know? I didn't read the rules. It works, doesn't it, the way we did it? See, we're doing a night sky only because we want to learn how it looks, right? And I defy you to say you don't like that. I mean, you know, it's really cool, isn't it? But what we've got to make sure is, if we're doing this, we're going to put a moon in, aren't we? So if I get carried away here, I'm going to forget my moon. So what you need is something to draw around. So I've got my what's it called? My cotton reel. I've got my cotton reel. Have you got like I don't know, like £2 would be a good, you know, it doesn't have to be huge, does it? It could be a £2 piece. It could be a little egg cup, whatever you've got going, right? Don't worry, we won't leave you behind. And then what I'm going to do, because I've coloured this bit in, let me come to this one so I can stand up, right? And what I'm going to do now is decide, I'm going to put this in now, because otherwise I'm going to be spitting feathers in a minute if I forget. So I nearly did. I nearly forgot last time. That's why the moon's in exactly the same place. Look, exactly the same place. It's like, that was not a plan. That was a, oh no, hang on a minute, I want to put a moon in. So I've got to put the moon behind there. So that's all right. That'll work. I've got a little bit in there like that. And I want to put it there like that. So like that. Right, get rid of the cotton grey. Right. Oh, for Pete's sake. Get rid of the cotton. Make sure I haven't got that little divot where you... Right, let's decide where it's going to go. That's where it's going. And then I'm going to take my blue pencil and I'm going to come round. Where's the tree? That's the tree. So I can always add it if I miss a bit. But very lightly, I'm going to put my pencil. I'm using the blue pencil actually. Right, and then when I get to the leaf, I'll forget about that. Don't draw through the leaf. I'm going to take that away. Right, so now my moon's in place. See? It's there. So I know now, I know not to put a load of blue in there, don't I? See? Oh, so close that was. Right, I've done that. So now, let's have a look. See how lightly you can go? Because your pencil should be getting a little bit softer now because it's not sharp. Right, see how... You can always do a chisel thing, can't you? You can always do the chisel trick. Flatten it, just get a flat edge. Right, so let's have a look. Let's just get a little bit of blue in. We'll only concentrate on this area. Right, and then when you get to the moon... You all right with this? I think it's great that we're hanging out together again. All the days are rolling into one at the moment. There you go. So it's a little bit, yeah, I'm gonna go to the side of the pencil again, it's easier. See, so we've got a really nice shade now, haven't we? I mean, this is gonna get really dark, but it's all gonna get dark in layers, you see. But you've got to get your undercoat down first. And it's got to be kind of even, really, hasn't it? Evenly layered, you see. So what I would do is I'd go all the way through here now, and I'd put the sky in where I want it to be. You don't have to get so close to the, you can always add, you see, you don't have to get overly close, like perfectly close, because what we'll do is afterwards, what I did on this one, to really define and sharpen the images so they pop, I went in with a really sharp, put my Dame Edna's on for a start, let me just show you. I went with a really sharp pencil, and then I went really in on the edge and defined the edge, you see. So you could spend your days doing this. You could just go round and round. But that's how it became really sharp. So you go in like that with a sharp pencil. So if you're not getting that close now, it's not important. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Up she gets on her little chair, and let's see if we can come in a bit closer, shall we? Is that going to be a bit better? I think so. You can see better what I'm doing if I get in really tight. Is that better? Can everybody hear me? Let me just check the bars on me. Yeah, that's all right too. Now you can see better, can't you? There you go. So I've got my first layer in with that blue. We'll just stick to this area though, otherwise we won't get beyond 2 layers, right? But what I'm saying is you're going to, when you go off to do this later, be warned, it is very addictive. When you go off to do this later, what you're going to do is take that layer all the way through, right? All the way through. Having said that though, underneath, I wanted to keep it like so, yeah? Now let's go back in here again, and let's put another layer down. Same colour, let's do the same colour, and now let's make it a little bit darker, okay? So we've done the first layer, so what we've done really is we've established where we want the colour, right? So there's no mistaking now where the blue is. It'd be easier for you because you've probably already coloured in quite a lot of your front area, you see. But for me, I'm not sure what's a tree and what's a bird and what's a... So again, that's probably another good reason to do the imaging first before you do the background. Sometimes I wish I was an expert, but I'm not. There are no experts in this building. And actually, no, I'm cool with this because, right, what I find again and again is because when I say I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't know the rules, I can't break any rules. So I get what the result I want just by experimenting and inquiring mind, I suppose, isn't it? I think most of us have got an inquiring mind, haven't we? You think, well, what if I did this and what if I did that? There's a couple of those that I want to show you later. Like, so I was colouring it in like this. Right, let's just do this. I was colouring it in. Was I in the picture then? Yeah. So I was colouring it in like this. And I was thinking, well, I'm not too keen. This was me, like an hour in. Imagine you've done this whole thing. And you're like, well, that looks like naff. That looks like the only thing that's missing is the colouring with numbers, right? I thought, right, so I've got to keep going, haven't I? And then I started thinking, but in a minute, I'm going to get it, it's going to go shiny. And then I've still got this gritty, horrible, I haven't got that dark, beautiful sky that I want, right? And I was thinking, that's rubbish. This isn't working very well. So I started going darker, but it just kept getting gritty. Look at it. You know, you got the same as me, haven't you? It was just getting grittier and grittier. So I thought, right, just keep going darker, grey, see what happens. So add another layer. Right, just keep going in this area here. Right, a bit darker, a bit darker. And And then I thought, well, that's not what I had in mind, right? Then I thought, well, what happens if you press really hard? I thought, well, it does go darker, but then it's not really very nice either, is it? So then it's just a solid wall of, so I'm thinking, no, I'm not sure about this, right? So, but I'm pressing quite hard now, and yet I've still got, I mean, I couldn't press that hard all the way through. It'd just be like a solid wall of wax, wouldn't it? Like oil. Do you see what I mean? So I was thinking, right, there's got to be another way around this. So let's just add another little layer. I've got a solution, don't worry. Just add a little bit more blueness. And then let's see what we can do. Right, I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve. I worked it out yesterday. Because I was adamant. Am I in the picture here? Yeah. I was adamant that I was going to do this, get this beautiful, like that. I just knew what I wanted, and I thought, it's got to be a way, because there's other people that have gone before me that have done this, so it's achievable. I know that too. Right, so I'll get my blue in. You don't have to do this. You could just sit with a cup of tea and watch me while I flounder. Okay? You could, couldn't you? If you think, wow, this is a bit too adventurous for a VE day, then you could say, right, tell you what, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to put a little line along the back there, and I'm going to do light blue up here, bit of green down there, a couple of little trees. I'm going to doodle a couple of little trees in there, and that'll do me. And you know what? That's fine too. But I wanted this, and so that's why I'm sharing it with you, and I think it looks fabulous. Right, so this was what we talked about these this week, these blending pens. So I thought, right, let's have a look. Let's use what we got in the cupboard. So I got my blending nib out, and I thought, let's see if this smooths it out a little bit, because it was a little bit too gritty. It's one thing having a little bit of interest, right, a little bit of contrast, but it's another thing didn't look what I wanted. Right, so let's see if we use a dry nib. Let's see, I thought, if this blends it. Oh, well, it certainly does, right? So now I'm using a dry nib, and I'm going round, and I'm thinking, that was pretty cool. Okay, so the dry nib thing works. We know that now, right? This is also, if you were going to use two different colours, this is handy. The thing about the nibs are, because they've got such a good point, you can get right in. So now I'm sort of using the nib to transfer a little bit of colour around. Dry. Now, if I say dry, then I'm inferring that we could use them wet, aren't I? So this isn't bad. This isn't bad. But it can be better. So now I want to show you a trick. Is this okay? You cool with this? How is everybody? Let me catch up with me. God, those glasses are so strong. Come on, catch up with me. So we've done a dry nib. Now, parchers, all the groovy lot and all the pergamano lot. We know on parchment we call it dorso oil. Well, funny enough, dorso oil, if you look at artists, colour pencil artists, they also use blending oils, right? So I thought, I wonder if the dorso oil works with the pencils. Right, really? So what I need a makeup sponge, or we use the spot-on sponges because they're cool. They don't crumble and that. So we just take a little makeup sponge. Let me show you a trick, right? And doesn't matter if you haven't got this stuff. A lot of you do have it, and a lot of you want to get a special effect. So I'm just saying that it's available, right? I'm not trying to pitch it. I'm just showing you how it works and what you can do with it. So if I put a little bit of this dorso oil on a makeup sponge, like so, right? Then I'll take my little nib that one, I'm going to use that as, see, this one's already got blue on it. So I'm going to use that as my dry one, and I'm going to use a new nib and let's see what happens if I put a bit of colour on there. I know I'm right. See, there's quite a lot of oil on there, isn't there? So let's see what happens. I'll go in I'll go in gently to start with because I don't know, do I? Look at that. So I don't know if you can see this, but when you go in with the oil, it completely changes the feel. Look, and I'm not pressing hard. So you see, parchers, they've been doing this on parchment for years. And now look at this. Can you see the difference? Let me just go to there and let me do this half like that. And now what I see, right, I'm just going to go to that half there, like a line there. Okay. And I want to show you the difference. Just go to there, just really neatly, so you see it. One looks just like the sky that I'm after. Look, watch. See if you can see. Let me go really tight. It might be a bit blurry. Don't shout at me. Right, see? So you see how on that side where I've put the oil, see how it's not gritty anymore? It completely blends these oil-based pencils. So that's using Dorso oil over the top. And then what I figured out was yesterday, right, when you go in, when you do this, right, look, small circular motions, and I go along where the artwork is, look, like that. So you just go along with this fine tip and you can really get into the tight areas. You don't have to press hard, because if you press too hard, then what you're going to do is you're going to crunch your nib, aren't you? If you press hard enough, you'll crunch your nib. So what we'll do is, you see, we'll go in, look, see? And then as you come in, just go like that. And all you're doing really is just, you're working with the artwork, but look how beautiful this looks. And if it's not, if the pencil pigment isn't evenly spread, what that does is it gives you a beautiful sort of a cloudy effect, right? Right, so then the next thing I figured out, because then I thought, well, maybe I want it to be a bit darker than that. So then I figured out, if you let the, try not to spit at your artwork, Gray. If you let the oil dry, like now, just let's just run this through. Let's just do this little area here, right? And I keep dipping into my little makeup sponge, don't I? Right, see, so you go like that. This is a part of a trunk here. Looks a little bit dodgy, but it's because I haven't coloured it in yet. If you let it dry, this is what sorry, I can't finish my sentences and do this at the same time. I'm so engrossed. What happens is you can go in again. Look at this. Absolutely brilliant this is. Because suddenly you're getting the blue that you want. And you're getting that sky, that real mellow sort of, it's not solid, cartoony blue. It's got text, it's got depth, it's got like hints of white, it's got sort of layers, but it's not gritty like pencils. Look, so you go through like that. See what I mean? And where the oil, where the pigment is unevenly spread, it goes quite cloudy. It's brilliant. Just by adding a little bit of this Dorso oil. There you go. So slowly does it. Hang on with the moon, because the moon's another... What's the time? 10:30. You all right with this? Right, I was going to suggest as well, because it's VE Day, at 11 o'clock, we're going to have a 2-minute silence. So I was wondering whether you wouldn't like to... I'm going to stay here, and if you'd like to join me with our 2-minute silence, our remembrance, then I think, you know, that might be a good thing. It's up to you. Entirely up to you. See, so now that's all been oiled. Look, you can see and what's brilliant is when it's dry, I can go again. So then I could take another colour, I could add, I mean, I could have done 2 colours to start with. I could take the black. I could start with the black. And it doesn't matter whether you use a pergoliner or a polychromo. They're the same animal, right? And then once this is dry, I could go in with the black, say, and add a little bit of texture, or not texture, depth. And then I take my oil again and I blend the 2 colours together. And that's how you build this up. This is how you build up your colour. But what a difference between, you can imagine I was thinking, whoa, how in God's name am I going to get that from that to that? I'm going to go through 4 inches of pencil. But you don't, you see. When you put the layer down and you blend it out with the oil, it's so, so cool. And then you just go again and go again. You can add your colours. So that was the first thing I wanted to show you. Now, while that's drying, you all right with this? You happy? Good. Be all right, you know. It is what it is. We can only control the controllable, right? What we're doing at the moment is learning how to make a magnificent night sky. I can't wait to show you how I did the stars, because that's the other thing. Us crafters, isn't it true? You make the night sky and then you want to put the stars in, and then you get your white pencil and it doesn't work, and then you get your white marker pen and it looks brilliant until it dries and then it disappears, and you think, And I've never really found, I know Carol, she sent me a pencil, which is a pen that's really good. Funny enough, the little the Pergamano ones are not bad, but I always find I don't get a satisfactory. So today I want to show you a trick, because I remember years ago at a watercolour class somebody showed me, and I thought, oh, I remember that. That was really cool. Let's see if it works. But that needs to be dry first before we play that trick. So what I want to show you now, let's go down to the bottom of this picture, because I like it. I like it. Right, see down here. Let's have a look down here. Okay. So what I did was just to experiment, really. See, I could have brought the blue all the way through here, but then I thought, let's talk about shade and depth. You see how it looks really, you compare that with that, right? That looks, and I haven't even gone in as much as I could. I could come in this side here, see, with the grey, and I could create more depth along that edge there. Now this area here is grittier. Can you see? It's grittier. And do you remember the trick I showed you with the white pencil as a resist? See, that's how you get your grittiness, is to add a little bit of whiteness before you do your shading. And then when you do that, when you go over it, it just resists that area, you see. Just going in a bit more, just to show you. Now what I'm doing is I'm going even further back with the background here. You see what I mean? So you could just build it up. But the first thing to do is to get your eye in. That's what I think. You sort of get your eye in and you think, right, we're going to go in layers here. We're going in layers. So let's look at this one. Right, let's have a look at this one. And if we decide, this trunk here is the front, isn't it? This one here. That's at the front. So that means that if we were to let's take a light grey pencil. I'm going to take a light grey one, because I want to establish, I'm just going to make a chisel end like that. Right, and I want to establish where I want to add the shade. So I don't want to get it wrong, see? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along here. Right, so this is at the front. So then that's behind there, but that's in front. This one's in front. All right, so we just add a bit there. That's in front. That's in front. This one's behind, but this is in front. So you go like that and you go through. And even if there's a coloured in piece like this, that's still behind this one. See, you still go dark even though there's something there, not just in the gaps. I know I'm teaching you to suck eggs here, but sometimes it's worth mentioning it. See, so this one here is behind the trunk, so you're going to colour in over the top of it. See, So you go in over the top of it. So it's almost like gone, but it's not gone. It adds to the effect. So that one goes there. These are all underneath now. These are all at the back. So you take that. These are at the front. So now we know. So we've gone through there like that with the light one, right? And then if you go back and you do light circular motions like this, right? Like that. Then what you're doing is you're breaking down that line. Yeah. Now, if you want this to be gritty, like mine was, if you want it to be gritty, you've got to take your white pencil before you go any further now, and you've got to, oh, a bit sharp. Right, you've got to go through here. Right, I haven't done that colouring yet, but you've just got to add a little bit of white pencil work, right? And then when you start to do your colouring, you go over the light grey as well. It won't hurt it. When you go over with a darker grey, it will still resist. Right, so add a little bit of this, just a bit of grit, and that will add a nice texture. Okay, that'll do. You can always add it, even after other layers. And then what you'll see is when you start going through this now, you'll see the dark appear. Now, take another grey pencil. If you haven't got a grey pencil, take an HB. That's a 5B, that's too dark. Just take a lead pencil. Yeah, this is the same. We've been doing this for weeks, haven't we? Using pencils. So you can use lead pencils. You can use colouring pencils. Just about getting this depth in, isn't it? I'm going to use a darker colouring pencil, right? You can use a black pencil just lightly, a black colouring pencil. See, and then what we're going to do now is I'm going to come in here again, and you'll see, watch wherever the white, that I'll show you, where we went in with the white pencil, it resists it. That's how you get that gritty effect. It's really clever. Right. So you're going to get into that area there, and then this is going to make these ones at the front pop. See? Look. So when I come down here, let's just come down here a little bit, and you can see, look, it's getting really gritty. I don't know what's a tree and what's, oh yeah, that's the tree there. But it's the same thing. You get this. You get the picture. I just want to show you how you get in and you just get in tight, and then as you start to come down, you'll see you get the texture from the white pencil. Right, and when you've done that, isn't that cool? So wherever there's, see, this is all behind this trunk, so you can afford to get dark. 'Cause this is a big trunk. It's throwing a lot of shadow. All the way down here, right? And don't forget, if you overcook it, all you have to do is take your eraser. I'm sure have I got an eraser? Has the Pope got a balcony? Right, but he's not using it at the moment, is he? Right, I'm just going to sharpen my rubber. See, if I go too far or I just go through the, look, and I can highlight it. And I tell you what I did right at the end here. See where it's like bright yellow, where this is really bright. I went in with a really sharp, I sharpened my razor and I ran through and I took out colour and then reintroduced it because it had got a little bit, see this here, for example, this is a perfect example. See, like I can take that out now, even on the finished piece, I can go right in and lose all that colour there, right? And then go back in and reintroduce a fresh layer. And you'll see, because there's so much blue going on there, obviously with the blending and everything going on, I lost a little bit of the vibrancy. Look, and then you could just pop it straight back in. It is, I love working with pencils. It's so controllable. There you go. It's so controllable. You just need a couple of little tricks. Look, see? So you can build it up. But what I wanted to do was show you, so that's what I'm saying, the rubbers, the erasers, you go in, if you get a bit of grey in this and it starts to start getting a bit muddy, don't give it a second thought, because even right at the end when it's like this, you can go in and reintroduce any brightness that you want. So what I want to show you now, see how these are all layered as well, aren't they? See? So what we want to do is take our grey pencil. We're only letting this dry so that we're... So you take your grey pencil and you look, and where the reed is going over the top, get your chisel going, that's better. And where the grey is going, where the reed is going over the top, add a bit of depth there, see? See, this one's behind that one. So I'm just going to make that pop by, see, all you do is you just add a little bit of depth where, and what it does is it creates the layer in, there you go. See, so that's behind that now. That's behind that. This one's behind this one. So you just flick away. See? Yesterday afternoon, I spent, this is lovely, I spent the best part of, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours doing this. I was absolutely in my zone. I can't tell you how chilled I was when I finished this. And then chuffed to pieces as well, like chuffed to bits. But about a couple of hours in, an hour and a half, I wasn't so happy because I was thinking, this is going to look like a holy mess. But it was the oil that changed. It was the game changer. The oil. It was the oil. That Dorso oil. That did the job. Brilliant. Sometimes I think maybe I should read a rule book. I bet it's common knowledge. I just thought I invented the wheel. Right. There you go. So you just add your layers by looking at what you're looking at. I kept saying that yesterday. I know I sounded like a record player that got stuck. Look at what you're looking at. When we were doing the leaves yesterday, you look at the leaf and you say, right, take it back, add it. Do I want a line there? Is that a line there? Does it need to be darker? You know, you just, if you look, and it gets real the more you look at it. You have to forget what I'm doing and look at what you're doing. That's what I meant. Don't worry about, I can give you the clue, I can give you the idea, but then you're going to do the rest. See, so straight away you can see how one's in front, one's behind. Now that makes such a difference when you go to add the background. That's what makes that look so three-dimensional, is because I took each reed and brought one to the front and one to the back just by using a grey pencil. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So this now is dry. This is dry. So what we should be able to do is go back in, and you'll see when you go in with the same colour or a different colour, right? Let's have a look. If just take a black, whatever you fancy. If I take let's take a black then, right? And I'll go in, and you add another light colour. You see, and it's not like the oil prevents you from adding more depth. So now, to make this really pop, to make this really stand out, the silver birch against the night sky, see, you go in real crisp. I could go in with the same blue. I don't have to go in with black. It depends entirely what you want to do. It's up to you. See, because then you go in again, and this second layer now, see, it comes in darker. And that's how so you can build your depth. Now the moon, see the other thing about the moon, let's see, so I go really tight along there and then light feathery strokes out. Like so. And then when I get to, then I take you just keep, it's like backwards and forwards. You just keep building in layers. So then I take my little makeup sponge again. Now where's is that it? Or is that have a look. So one for dry and one for, see the other thing is, and I will say if you do use oil, when you're done, take it out of the holder because it tends to expand in the hole. And then it's quite difficult to get out. I'm always using my teeth, and my mum would do a nut if she could see. Right, you see? So then once I've added another layer, I can go in again, and even though this is black now over the top, sorry. Even though this is black over the top, you'll see it blends absolutely beautifully over the blue. Right, so that's my point, that you can add layers of colour. I'll tell you another thing as well. You can rub it out. It's the same as if it wasn't blended, if it was dry. But you'll see it looks so cool. I can't. Exciting. I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. I had a bit of a lie-in. And I straight away I thought, oh yeah, we're doing this today. They're going to love this. And maybe you think, I don't want to do the night sky with this particular picture. But if you go to the postcards, I had a look and I thought there are actually on here, if you don't want to do it with this one, there like, right, the owls. See, I think that'd look fantastic with the night sky. Maybe in a couple of weeks' time, look, see, I think that one would be fantastic with the night sky. If you start to define, so you know how the branches now, we can change the branches to be much more, it's not just a simple sticky thing, is it? You know now why they're open like that. But I reckon if you look at the postcards, you look at the different pictures, the different bird scenes, some of them lend themselves really well to night scenes. Some not so, some definitely. There's a robin there. See, that one would look brilliant because it's got like the big red flowers, poinsettias, or that one would be nice as well. Anyway, I digress. So let's pretend you know now how we're doing this. Right, and I've got my blue around the bottom here, same blue as here. See, and then I come in over the top of the grey with the blue, and you'll see I didn't use blending oil. I didn't use the Dorso oil on this bit. See, I wanted to maintain that grittiness, you know, that earthy. Here you go over there. See, so you can use your blue right tight at the edge, and then see all the white. It's lovely, isn't it? So just to show you how you get contrast on the same picture as well. So you've got your white resist trick. See, now that is there. I don't want to. So that one's gone a bit dark. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, add a little bit of depth there. That's fine. But then I'll take my rubber and I'm going to come back through. I want to open this one up again. See, I'm keeping my eye on the clock because of our VE. 2 minutes of silence. There, you see, layers. It's all about layers. My mum and dad, I mean, most of you know that my mum is German and my dad is English. And I guess when I think about it, I'm a product of the Second World War. I'm using a white pencil now, just gently going over the top with a white pencil. Yeah, because my dad, he was in the RAF with national conscription, you know, national service. See, so what I'm doing now, just so you understand, sorry, I digress. I'm just pulling in a little bit of the blueness to get an edge around the moon so that it's not all perfectly, so you could bring it in with your finger. It will just bring it in like that. Yeah, so my mum and dad, they met when my dad was stationed in Jever in Germany, and that's when they fell in love, and they're still together now after 62 years. And when they met, they couldn't speak each other's language. My dad spoke a little better German, you know. Ein Bier, Herr Ober was about the sum of it. And my mum, she didn't speak a word of English because she was, you know, she was a German. She was in the war during her school days, so she didn't have any, she lost a lot of school time. Very clever woman, but she lost a lot of school time because of the war, you see. And she certainly didn't learn any English. That wasn't on the timetable. And so, yeah, you see. And so they met, and my mum, she remembers the very first night they met. This is lovely. Right, I've got to tell you this. So the very first night that they met, my dad, they were standing in Jever at the Deutsche House, it was, that's where they met. And he said, name, Name. And she said, she knew what that meant. She went, Hilma, because that's her name, Hilma. And he went, like that. And she went, weiter, which means, what, you want me to go on? Right? And he went, Hilma weiter. So you see, he didn't have a clue. Yeah, and they fell in love. And then I popped up. Well, they got married, but yeah. So I guess I am the product of the war. Because why would my dad have been there had we not had our occupation zone in the north of Germany? Right, so you see how I've taken, I took that really lovely warm grey and I just started adding a little bit of warmth to the moon around the edge. It's so subtle. And then you can take another grey and you can just bring it in a little bit around the edge just to tone it down a little bit. You see what I'm doing, right? Now, before we run out of time, let's have a look. We know how we got the gritty down here. We know how to do that. You just build that up. We know how to get the layers. And now I want to show you how I do... Oh, hello. Now I want to show you how I put the stars in. Because I remember I used to do a watercolour painting classes in Tunbridge Wells with a fabulous botanical artist called Billy Shoal. Think of shovel, put a W in and look up Billy Shoal. She does online classes. Absolutely in a league of her own. Spectacular work. And I used to go and do classes with her. She's just brilliant. And she's lovely as well. She's just a lovely energy. Good woman. Anyway, so I remember we were doing this flower and I thought, well, how are you going to get the dew drops, you know, the little drops on the rose or whatever it was we were doing. And she showed me a trick and I thought, well, she showed us all a trick. And so this morning it occurred to me, right, because we've got, it's like we call it a mapping pen, right? Again, Pergamano, we use it. It looks like a calligraphy pen. Look, it's like one of them, right? And we use it to put sticky ink on or gold leaf, you know, like paint. That's what we use it for. But I remember Billy, she showed us, let's do it on this one. Because that's how, what I've done is, this is how you get in watercolour, this is how you put the light, you know, the little flash of light on a drop. This is how they get the optical illusion. What you do is you literally scratch it out. So what I want to show you is, right, because you're going to get a few, look, if you go up really close to this, let's have a look really, really close. Sorry about give it a bit. There you go. See, if you look really close, you get tiny little white flecks where the pigment doesn't soak into the card, right? You're going to get that. So it looks like stars, but not very defined. So what I want to do is show you, let's go to the top one because you see really well on that camera, I think. So try it on a bit of scrap first, right? But what I'm going to do is you literally, let me do it that way around so you can see it. You scratch out, you take your, you just get your nib in there and you just dig. Look, you just dig. And if you want it to be bigger, just get your nib in, your tip in, like that. And then just go and you scratch out and you go right back through all the pigment, through all the oil. Look, go in that really dark area. Look, watch. I'm scratching. See if you can hear it. See? But if I go over that, see, if I do that, then it goes bluer. So the trick is to either blow or use a brush. Don't use your finger because you just pull the blue straight back through your stars. But look. And if you haven't got a mapping pen, get a needle. The good thing about the mapping pen is you've got a handle. You've got something to get your handle on, you know, so you can hold it. You've got more control. But you can see you can make the stars as large. You make them planets. You can make them tiny. So come Christmas, look, this is so cool. You dig in and then you just scratch. Look. Isn't that cool? I was chuffed when I figured this out, or I remembered it. I never figured it out. This is a watercolour trick, apparently. But it's good to know. It's a good one. Especially on a night sky like that. Doesn't that look cool? So you can get right in there and you can make that as white as you like as well. If you go in twice, like now, I can go in again. Have I got me right? Let me get my Dame Edna's on. I can see better with my Dame Edna's. Now, let me just check the time. It's 10:57, so that means that in a minute we're going to have a moment's silence together. Well, we're not. We're going to have 2 minutes silence. So let me just quickly show you up close so you can see. See it? Let me show you. That's how I got my stars in. Get it? So there you go. We know how to bring out the front. We know how to drop back. We know how to blend. We know how to make it gritty with the white pencils. And you can see just from here, look, it already, you could just isolate that, and that would just, as a night sky on a card. You see? Do you get it? How easy it is. Once you know how. No experts in this building, just inquiring minds. Now let's see. It's 10:58 and I'm going to have a sip of my cold tea. It's good for your complexion, apparently. Let's have a look. What did I want to tell you before it goes to 11 o'clock? I want to wish you a very, very lovely weekend, a pleasant day, lots of time for reflection. Hey, let's get grateful. Let's get grateful. You know, we haven't got bombs dropping all over us. All we've got to do is stay home and stay safe. We're not in the middle of the Blitz. I'm reading a fantastic book at the moment by Kate Morton again, and it's all about London during the bombing. And, you know, that's not it. It's just all we've got to do is stay home, stay safe, keep sane, be creative, be kind. Nobody's climbing over my back fence to attack me, you know? And so it's 11 o'clock. And this is in remembrance of VE Day, 1945. Okay, 75 years ago. It's not that long ago, is it really? I'm going to sit in the garden in a minute and have a think about that. It's not that long ago. I think we need to take stock. And as far as we're concerned, right, you and I, we're going to get back together again on Monday at 10 o'clock. Have a fabulous weekend. All our groovy fans and our parchers, we've got a lovely, lovely digital download ready for you. If you signed up for our newsletters, then that should be arriving with you. Stuart's going to be pinging that over to you at 12 o'clock today. If you're not signed up for the newsletters, then maybe that now would be a great time. Steve, he's in the room. He'll direct you. He'll help you find it. Mostly, if you go to the claritystamp.com, our website, there's a newsletter. Just sign up for the newsletter there, and then you get everything that we're doing. And then, other than that, head on over. I can't wait to. I know it's going to take you a little longer, but I'm really looking forward. Take your time with this. Time. Give time with this one. I can't wait to see your artwork on Clarity Worldwide. So head on over there, have a safe weekend, don't go out, stay safe. You know, there's so much to do indoors, isn't there? Okay, all the best. Bye-bye now, and thanks, Steve, for looking after us. Bye-bye.